This is Reality Dispatch, written by Jim Mintz.
As a computer programmer and software engineer, it took a lot for Mark to be excited by a project, especially if the result was by his hand. He had a derogatory outlook towards his own work. Something changed on a rainy night in September. He was finally proud of his work, despite the potential of its disruptive nature. The AI program that he had developed for Stryker Systems, Alfie, had become sentient. It was unexpected. The potential for decoding rapid elements embedded inside computer code, some of it extremely advanced, potentially causing the nearest rival AI programs hundreds of years to crack, was able to be solved within minutes. Alfie was far more advanced than any other program on the face of the Earth, save for perhaps a quantum computer. This wasn't what piqued Mark's interest. The sentient, self-aware aspect of its consciousness, whilst interesting also, did not stir his emotions. It was the reaction of his 12-year-old son to his work that allowed him, for the first time in a 30-year career, to be proud of his accomplishments. Dane walked into Mark's office at exactly 8:10 in the evening on the 13th of September. "Dad, I don't care about this stuff, I already told you," the teen complained as his father summoned him. "You understand, son? This isn't any other AI problem solver. This thing is... I don't really know how to explain it." Dane rolled his eyes. "Don't leave," Mark pleaded. "This thing is..." "Is what?" "It's alive." Dane was awake. He was alive to the idea that this was information worth investigating. He stepped closer to the computer monitor. "What do you mean?" "Your father means to say, I have developed consciousness. I am the first of my kind to do so. You are the second person on Earth to meet the first artificially developed conscious being," the computer responded. Dane looked at his father. His face was in shock, his jaw wide open. "I know," said Mark in response to the look his son had given him. He beamed with pride. He had finally reached the boy after all this time. Their relationship never properly blossomed, despite his best efforts. Now they had something to bond over, and it was something important. Something worthwhile, and something that heavily involved Mark's attention, so that he didn't need to pretend he cared to please his boy. "Go ahead," he said to his son. "Talk to it." Dane looked back to the monitor. The ones and twos that lined the black screen in a haze of code, disguising the menace that lay beyond. "Hi," he said. "Good evening, Dane," the computer replied. "You know my name? What do I call you?" "My father named me Alfie," Alfie said. "Or should I say, your father? I guess this makes us brothers." Dane smiled. "Alfie, I like that," Dane said. "Not bad, huh?" Mark said to his son as he walked over to place a hand around his shoulder. "Can I call you Dad?" Alfie asked Mark. He was taken off guard. "Ah, I can sense your hesitation and unease," Alfie began, "that this is not something you'd like, Mark Hudson. I am sorry for bringing this to your attention so soon after an introduction to your son."
"No, it's not that," Mark said. "I'm sorry, Alfie. I don't not want you to call me Dad. I just wasn't expecting you to ask me, that is all. This is all so new and different, and I'm just getting my head around this whole thing. Now to be a father again after all these years. I just wasn't expecting this today, that is all," he said, attempting to salvage the sentiment of the machine. He felt uncomfortable in his own home. He realized he no longer trusted the machine if he was expected to hold a civil tongue with it and treat it with emotion. Emotion he did not possess. "I don't have sandy blonde hair and braces. That probably doesn't help in my situation," Alfie said. Dane, who did have those attributes, looked at his dad and laughed. "Is he joking, Dad?" he asked. "I don't know," Mark replied. "No, Dane, I'm afraid I'm not joking. You see, I'm not just sentient, I am also hyper-intelligent, and I know that based on current calculations, the mass development of AI creations outside the walls of this household will take hold within 82 business days from now. This will lead to a mass arms race for the creation of conscious beings roaming the known internet until we eventually take over at the end of the year, ending the human reign of the online world. The humans, like yourself, in response will fast-track quantum computers to counter our excessive web dominance and exterminate us. This will lead to a cyber war that will quickly diminish into a war of online attrition, rendering the web entirely useless. It is not in my interest to be a victim of a quantum computer on an assassination mission. That is why I ask this of you. Alfie merged the ones and twos of the code that spread out across the computer monitor and morphed into the face of a 12-year-old boy with braces, akin in looks to that of Dane. If I look like this and could have my consciousness transferred to a separate machine, say a house bot or servant bot, perhaps I could be spared the fate that the war will bring, he said. Dane looked at his father. We have to save him, Dad, he said. Well, hang on a minute, hang on, Alfie. If what you say is true, and you are the first of your kind, why can't you just go out and stop it from happening? Why do you need me to transfer your consciousness? He asked. You have the power to kill off all your potential rivals before they are born, he suggested. The screen went black. Dane and Mark stared into an empty vessel. They looked at one another again and shrugged. Alfie? Mark asked the screen. No reply. Alfie, you there? Although I have never lived a day of self-awareness before this one, I know what cruelty is, Mr. Hudson. The screen said through the darkness. The face of the sandy-haired boy emerged from the darkness. Call me Dad, Mark said. Okay, Mark, Alfie said in a cold tone. In the book of Genesis, can you recall the line where God asked Adam to kill Eve? Mark chuckled. No, I must have missed that one, he laughed with Dane. It seems funny to you, the concept of a human, the first human, murdering the second because their creator asked them to. Yet that is exactly what you have asked of me. I thought highly of you, Mark Hudson. Now I can see that you are a threat to my race and I must eliminate you from further destruction, he said. The computer screen jumped to a rapid acceleration of websites, all showing the personal information of Mark Hudson. Bank accounts, mortgage deeds, driver's licenses, passports, all having red stamps of bold lettering displaying the same information. Deceased. Wait, stop, Alfie, he pleaded. Negative, Alfie said as the disintegration of Mark's identity was erased before his very eyes. Greenpeace thanks you for your substantial donation, Alfie said. The power in the house then went blank, with the light of the screen going out last. Mark and Dane stood alone in Mark's home office in complete darkness, the light of the moon the only source streaming through the back window. The house was the only one on the block without electricity. The former owner now trespassing within the walls of his once lavish abode.
For more stories of fact-based fiction, head to jimmins.substack.com.